Welcome to a special crossover edition of the Running Journey. I'm Rob Tatro, and before we drop you into the main conversation, here's what you're about to hear. So, Charlie and I sit down today with Carolyn and Johnny Coffin from Inspired Souls, your other favorite Manitoba running podcast. By the way, they've been around for like 5 years. What a great podcast that is. Check it out if you're not listening to it. So, this is a single supersized episode launching at the same time on both channels. We're going to start off chatting about what we love to do. Charlie and I love to talk about races and people and how they did in their races. We're going to get a race recap from the Coffins. They're fresh off the I think it's Granny's Marathon in Duluth. Then we're going to talk a bit about plan and chaos behind our Pépère Gerry Run, which was this weekend, which was so fun, by the way. We're going to unpack the new Boston Marathon qualifying standards for you guys, what that means, specifically the canceling of the downhills. We're going to talk a lot about the 5K for 5K. $5,000 the losers will cut a check for to the charity of choice of the winner. So if we win this mic check relay, which is a 5-kilometer relay, Charlie's going first and Carolyn, and then they're handing off the baton or the fictitious baton to me and Johnny. Johnny's going to try to chase me down. The losers will pay $5,000. The losers will also have to mention the other podcast beating them at least 6 times in the next year. And we're going to bring all the community out for this event. So this is a great episode. It's funny, obviously, because the Coffins are really funny people. There's 4 of us bantering, and it ends up being, I think, probably our best episode yet. So take a listen, enjoy this one, lock and load, go to the website, race roster to book your tickets for the mic check relay, and enjoy the show, guys. It's a good one. Wow, how exciting is this? 2 podcasts, 1 great venue. We got 4 people on the show here. We got myself, Rob Tatro, my bro, Charlie, half of the running journey. We're pumped, but even better than that, we got Carolyn and Johnny Coffin. Great to be here. Inspired Souls. Oh, look at that. Look at that beautiful background, Johnny. Just drops it on us. Fresh off of, I think, a fantastic weekend in Duluth. How are you guys doing?
Well, we're doing really well. And thank you so much for having us back. This is, we've been looking forward to this all weekend. We did have a fabulous weekend in Duluth, but we got to come home and keep it going with a nice conversation with you two. So thanks for having us.
Hey, I'll echo what Carolyn said. Yeah, thanks for having us on here. And yeah, to answer your question, back from a fantastic half marathon down in Duluth, Grandma's, highly recommend it. Amazing race. It was a little hot and humid, but I think both Carolyn and I had a great race for sure.
It was a Saturday race?
Yeah. Saturday morning, 6 a.m. start.
It was crazy hot out here. I don't know how it was out there.
It was, so I mean, in all honesty, it was a little bit cool to start, but it was like 100% humidity. They actually had to delay the race by 30 minutes because of a massive thunderstorm that rolled through as we were like driving to catch our bus before 4 a.m. Like it was an early morning.
It's like pouring rain, thunder and lightning.
It must have been super humid after. I remember 2016, I ran the Manitoba Marathon. It was extremely humid right after a thunderstorm. It was hard.
Oh, totally. I remember that too. Yeah. And like I said, it was cool, which was fine, but I run hot. When I run, I heat up very quickly. And so when it's humid like that, it doesn't allow your body to allow the sweat to evaporate. So it really F's up your internal cooling system. So I think a lot of people found it difficult, and I think you can see that reflected in a lot of the times from the race.
Well, I think that happens when you run 1,000,000 miles an hour, Johnny. When you're winning races, you do tend to heat up.
Man, you got I listen, I love your podcast. I listen to it. I know you guys give us shout outs every once in a while. You guys are great for my ego. I love it. Thank you. You're way too kind. Way too kind. That's for sure.
I think I just am depressed now that I found out you're in the same age category as me. It's like I'm never gonna win a race ever against this guy. But maybe when we're like at our 70s, you'll give it up or something, and I'll still be
trying,
totally.
Maybe.
Or we need to pair off with someone else and then add our times together and see what happens.
Foreshadowing.
Oh, we have a little foreshadowing. Okay, I like it. So this episode is obviously we want to talk about the most exciting race in the history of Winnipeg. I think I don't know. I don't have that long of a memory, but it's pretty exciting. And that is coming up on July 16th. But I also want to ask you guys about your weekend, your race. I want to do the recap our race. So maybe why don't Carolyn, Johnny, why don't one of you two tell a story about how this race came together? Just briefly, we'll tease it, we'll drop it, and then we could ask you about your weekend. Then we can go back to the race.
Yeah, so this race is one we've had on our list for a long time. Like there's the world majors, and then there's like other races that aren't majors, but they're just like really good races, like long history, like they get a great field, they get lots of people. Like, so sometimes for Johnny in like smaller races, he ends up alone a lot, right? So he needs a bigger field where there's going to be some people to work with. So it sort of ticked all of those boxes. So it's in Duluth, Minnesota. It's been going on since 1977. Great reputation. Like they get a huge elite field, like assemble a really good elite field for it. I think there was close to 10,000 people in the half marathon. So
wow, 10,
really decent size. Yeah. And lots of good competition. So yeah, checked all the boxes, and it's only 6 days after Manitoba. So I don't know, you said you saw us out there cheering last weekend. We felt like it was a little bit too close to race them both. So we came out to cheer Manitoba. So unfortunately we didn't get to do that one, but still took part in some way, and then traveled down. We drove to Duluth. It's about a 7-hour drive. And yeah, like I said, Saturday morning race. And it is kind of Boston-like in the sense that it's a point-to-point race. So you got to arrive at the finish line bright and early in the morning. Like we had a 2:45 a.m. alarm clock because our bus we had to be on our bus at 4:15 in the morning, and it was a little bit of a drive and whatnot. So, and then they drive you out to the start. So yeah, it's just it's a rolling, kind of rolling hills. It's not a cheater course. It is a net downhill, but it's up and down pretty well the whole time, I would say. And yeah, I don't know. Am I forgetting anything?
Well, I think you did say it was born in 1977, but a lot of great things were born in 1977. We're going to get into age here in a little bit when we start talking about our pairs, but also Carolyn is from, was born in 1977. A lot of good things.
It was the thick of the running boom, 1977. So a lot of great races were born then. I believe Manitoba, I believe Chicago, and New York City was a young toddler at the time. So a lot of good races were started back in the late 70s.
Yeah. So like Carolyn said, there were 4 key things for me. One, the crowd. So a lot of fast people ahead of me that I could use to either pick off or tuck behind. Unfortunately, we were expecting a tailwind, which with a point-to-point would be absolutely fantastic. But in the end, I actually looked it up, Carolyn. I think it was said it was up to 1922 kilometers in the face, which
I felt that too.
Which kind of sucked because as I was 107th overall, so it kind of did spread out a little thin up front, and so I had to deal with that on my own. So that's one. Now I got to remember the next 3. Crap. No, speaking of crap, the toilets. There were lots of toilets, which was really good. So no issues there, which was fantastic. Carolyn alluded to this one too. It was a net downhill. Like, mind you, it was rolly, but 140 feet net downhill.
So not enough to be disqualified for qualifying for Boston.
Yeah, that's right.
Not even.
Holy, we have to talk about that real quick. Quick tangent.
Yeah,
you guys saw that.
The new rule,
yeah.
Charlie, send it to me. Charlie, tell the new rule.
I don't remember the exact elevations, but up to like 1,500 feet, I think it's
something like that.
It's no deduction. So you get deductions depending on how much elevation loss you get. Above 1,500 up to 3,000 or something is a 5-minute deduction. And then 3,000 to 6,000 is a 10-minute deduction. And anything above 6,000 is doesn't count.
Mm-hmm.
So 6,000 feet. The 3 cheater ones. We did 2 cheaters. Did we do 2 cheaters?
Two. Yep.
They were 5,800, I think, or 5,600.
They were just below. I think they were. I think they were careful not to like completely eliminate some existing marathons. The way they did those rules, but
I don't
still
even
think the 10 minutes is still easier with the 10-minute deduction. But
yeah, I don't even know what would be over 6,000. Do you guys know?
I don't think that there are any that exist. I think they're just like
just in case. I'm sure they'll come into existence.
Yeah,
but I don't think I don't think it's comfortable to run more down. It's not comfortable to run 5,800 feet downhill, but like
No.
It would be just absurd to go 7 or 8 or 9,000. So Boston Marathon has changed the qualifying times. So Charlie and I have talked about cheater marathons our whole life on this podcast, and it's out. It's out. It's going to be less likely. So if you missed your window to get a cheater marathon, and
I think it's a good thing that they decided
for
to do
sure,
that, no
for
matter
sure.
what, because it kind of, if people are at the bubble and they're doing like I will be this year, I'm probably not going to get in, and I mean, which is fine because I maybe wasn't planning on doing it, but that difference. I mean, I did it on a relatively tough course compared to all the people that did it on.
Do you think it's going to open up some spots and actually move the arrow the other way? Like, is it possible that it's going to move?
I think a small amount, but I think like people are improving so quickly. Well, I mean, I think the boom, like we talked about booms. So I guess there's been this recurring booms with running, and you mentioned the 70s. I think right now we're in one, so that's why like
the third one. I think they're saying,
yeah. So I think like the times are improving so fast right now because of this boom, but I think at some point it might plateau a bit.
And they have the data, right? So they've analyzed their own data, and they're seeing that it's more these people that are running the downhill ones that are taking up some of the spots, right? So, and I mean, maybe they're looking back being like, oh, we should have made those BQ courses, right? Like it was like, I don't fault anyone for doing it. It's like, if it was a real, like a Boston qualifier and it's certified, then you do anything that you can to go and within the rules and get your BQ. So yeah, I think they're just realizing, oops, that probably wasn't, we shouldn't have done that in the beginning, but
they're rectifying it. So it's good.
Like, I mean, the total number of people who qualify for Boston is growing, and it's a huge pain in the ass when you think you've BQ'd, but then they add that penalty because there's too many people that make it. So I think this is step one of many of the Boston Marathon Committee in order to help corral the numbers. And now people who run these marathons that have that net downhill elevation, like you just read out, Charlie, like now they have black and white data that they can apply to their numbers, and hopefully that will help them make a decision. Carolyn's mentioned this. I won't take credit for it, but I think they should just age grade it. Pick a percentage and just age grade it across the board. It's so easy with technology today, but
there's a formula, right? Like that does it.
Yeah. Dave McGillivray, if you're listening, like go and
I just think it's such a good idea, because even like just take any age category, like 45 to 49, my age category, it's way easier to qualify when you're 45 compared to when you're 49. Right. And so, but an age grade would just eliminate that entirely.
5 years is a long window.
It is. Yeah.
Are you telling me it's going to get harder over the next 5
I am
years?
telling you it's going to get harder. Yes, I am.
But with age grading, it's going to be the same.
Yeah.
Johnny, what else do you think they're going to do? You said this is the start of many things. Do you think there's other things coming from Boston? Carolyn, do you think there's other things coming? Like, they're not going to start banning.
But it's Rob, like it's been evolving for like ever since the beginning. It's been evolving. At the first year, like the first time they had standards, it was just 4 hours.
It was a letter from your doctor that you could finish a marathon. Yeah. The first one, right?
And then women's, we proved that uteruses weren't going to fall out.
Yeah, women, it's not dangerous for women to run marathons.
Yeah, no, it's been evolving with a race that long. Like it's been going on since whatever 1897 or something like that. So things change, and so it makes sense that they're going to change and evolve along with it.
Yeah, so actually, Rob, I hadn't actually thought of step 2 of the comments I mentioned earlier, but interestingly, we listened to a podcast on our 7-hour drive back today, and an individual went photo by photo in order to determine the quickest time of the person who wasn't wearing super shoes. So maybe with if AI can determine if a runner wasn't wearing super shoes, maybe you could get a bit of a handicap there as well. I don't know. It's interesting. But
Yeah, it's interesting. It's I'm glad I did the cheater marathon because it got me into Boston, but I'm also glad that it gave me a kick in the ass to get going to qualify for real like I did this year. So then you get that, right? You get a taste of it, and I got my window and I got my qualifier, and now I'm good.
it's interesting. Yeah, just breaking that mental barrier sometimes needs to come first before the physical part follows.
Yeah.
And I've always said that that's the good thing about Boston or Olympic trials qualifiers like they have in the States and stuff. When you put a time out there, it gives people something to shoot for. And I think overall time goals are really good because it just helps orient your training, gives you something to, like I said, shoot for. And we can do that ourselves. We can draw our own line in the sand. Like, I want to break 3:20 in the marathon. And that's kind of where I've drawn the line because it's not that difficult for me to get into Boston kind of thing. So that's not the same kind of challenge as it is for somebody else. But I could never qualify for the Olympic trials in the US. Like, that's way too fast. So you got to pick something that's just far enough, like a carrot far enough in front for you. And it does wonders for getting you, challenging you and getting you to like have purpose to your training and really go for something, I think.
And then listening to podcasts like these in order to motivate you.
Go ahead.
No,
go ahead, Johnny. No, go ahead.
Oh, no. Let's finish this. I was going to.
Well, okay, last question, because I've heard you say before in your podcast, Carolyn, then I want to ask you guys about our race for sure. Then we have to talk about our upcoming race. But Carolyn, you mentioned in the podcast before something along the lines of, I'm not sure like the people who are just gunning for a time, if that's the best way to do it. Am I paraphrasing or something like that? I remember you saying at some point, like it's better to like gun for like a level of effort or something like that instead.
I think both can serve their purpose. Absolutely. Like I just said, I think gunning for a time like really gives certain people a lot of purpose and especially Boston. Like, you see it. Like, I interviewed somebody that like tried and just kept missing, and then missed it. I knew somebody else that missed it by a second, and they just keep trying. So it's like heartbreaking, but that's also kind of the fuel that keeps them hungry and going for it if they don't get too discouraged. So I think time goals can be really useful, but also I think effort goals and like execution goals and fueling goals, like I think you also have to have some other perspective because it can be crushing if you miss your time goal and then it's like, oh, that was all for nothing. Like, you don't want to leave a race feeling like you were a complete failure. Like, I think there's always something to be gained.
Yeah, I think that was more your point. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, totally. And
I know that the 40-minute like 10K time was a big thing for me.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of a random number, I know, but
I did that too. That was always a big thing for me. So I get it.
Johnny just got his sub 35, and I'm sure that was a bit motivating. So
Yeah, I think 100%. They can certainly serve their purpose. Like, I'm not against any kind. I just think having a goal in some way is really important.
Yeah. And knowing the why behind it will also help keep you motivated as well. 100%.
But sometimes it's a fine balance between, like, sometimes you might have like a bit of a stretch goal, maybe that you think, okay, right now I'm not there, but maybe in a bit of time I can get there.
Yeah.
But you don't know if you'll ever get there. So then when you put in the effort and you don't get there, I think that's where it can be a little difficult.
Or if you have a time goal and it's already a bit of a stretch and then the day comes and you get terrible weather or something like that, right? And it's like out of your control, and you don't want to think that the whole day is like a failure, right? You want to be able to fall back on something that's within your control. And that's where sort of those like process goals are a little bit more important.
Speaking of goals, how did you guys do this weekend?
Well, if I may, actually, so I said I had 4 things about the grandmas, yes, and so I listed 3. I'm pretty sure the audience is just on the edge of their seats waiting to hear what the 4th thing is. Pause for dramatic effect. No, I'm just kidding. No, the 4th thing was it was a windy road, so it is a point to point, but there was ample opportunity to run tangents.
Okay.
And if there obviously there's lots of runners listening to this podcast, do the bloody tangents. You will save yourself a lot of distance. I was at Carolyn and I, where we saw you guys in Wellington, we were on the inside of a curve, and it was amazing to see how many folks were on the outside, and we were just come in, run the tangents.
It's brutal.
So when I ran Manitoba, I realized how bad people are. Like everyone is, not like, I mean, I'm not, but at running tangents, it's tough because you have to, like, even Boston, like I ran it this year and people were not running tangents at all.
And those are good runners.
Yeah, totally. Sometimes you'll see elites way out there on the outside of a turn and you're like, what are you doing? And mind you, they're running faster than they can think. So maybe that's it.
They're just trying to carry their speed. They have to go wide.
Yeah, that's right. So very quickly on the results, I'll go first, Carolyn. I'll hand it off to you. So my personal best is a 1:16:44. No, I looked it up, Carolyn. I think it's she's saying 42. Anyways, whatever. What's 2 seconds? And so my A goal was a sub 1:16:30, and under Carolyn as my coach and other positions, I have. Sorry. I got lost.
We keep this podcast clean, for the record. We keep this podcast clean. Yours, okay. You can.
Okay,
you
sorry.
Can smut it up all you want.
No,
I'm gonna cut it out on mine.
Oh no!
no,
okay.
We're leaving it.
Okay.
Those are some good parts in your
they're good.
Inspired Souls.
I was definitely in sub 1:16:30 shape, so that was my A goal. B goal was a new PB, and then C goal was sub 1:17. But after kind of waking up or knowing what the weather was going to be, I had already had I had a conversation with Carolyn, which was great, having your coach beside you on the bus as you drive to the start line, being like, "We're on the C goal here," and so running. I think around 339 kilometers, or I think that's like 553-54 miles, would help keep me not well under, but just under 1 hour 17 minutes. So I finished in 1:16:50, and again, given the weather, I was happy with that. And I'll be honest, like, we're already thinking about maybe going back there again next year. It is an amazing race.
Well,
is there a lot of Winnipeggers?
So you missed your PR by 6 seconds or something?
Yeah, I know.
It was on that tough day. Wow,
I know.
That's amazing. Good job. Sorry, Rob had a question.
No. I already commented in Strava how unreal I thought that was. I think it's a PR. I mean, I don't want to pull a Carolyn here and just throw PRs out, even if you don't have them. But that's a pretty. That's...
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
No, it was a PR. It was like a PR effort for sure.
No, I understand. Yeah. No, right? it totally was. I definitely went to the well. And you know what? They talk about this, like you hear elites talk about it, like when they was it Tokyo Olympics or Paris Olympics, it was crazy hot. And they had to, go to plan B and C because it was so hot. And by pacing themselves, it was more about the race than about the time they could, hopefully end in a good place. And at least the Canadian women used that strategy and did really well. That's what I did. I kind of slowed down in the first half, again, based on Carolyn's advice. And then I never was passed. I did all the passing in the second half.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah, it was good for sure. And
that's a Charlie.
Almost got it. Yeah. So when you talk about your sub 40, we were there to witness that. That was a good 10K, Charlie. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So I thought, I mean, it was 100% humidity. Like, not my Strava was saying 95 at the start, but when we were driving to the bus, it was 100%. So I was like, oh, you got to add at least 3 to 5 seconds per kilometer to your goal pace. And I had wanted to go under 134. So that's a 427 per kilometer pace, or 709 per mile. So I was like, oh, I'm looking at least at low 430s. So I'm like, as always, I'm like, I'll just see how I feel in the beginning. And I like to split the 5Ks in a half marathon. So I set out and I was like, just dial into the right effort. And it was consistently showing 430. And I'm like, okay, well, like that's kind of on the better end of that range that I thought. But I was like, I kept checking in. I was like, I think I'm still working too hard for this. Like, I don't think I'm going to be able. I like to speed up too as I go along. And I'm like, I'm not going to be able to speed up off of this. The effort just feels like a touch too much. And I'm like, you should slow down. But it was that torment of like, I'm already slowing. Like, it's already slower than I wanted it to be. And I'm like, I regret not slowing down more just to make it a little bit more even. So I go through 5K and it's like 4:30. And then at 10K, I'd slowed more. So like 4:34. And by 15K, and there was some hills happening in that 5K. And I was like 4:39. I'm like, I'm just going the wrong way. But I wanted to get to 15 knowing that I could like crank it up, like really drop the hammer. So I brought it back down to like the low 4:30s, 4:31. And then I decided in my head at 18, like with 3K to go, I would just start to really press. And so I was pretty happy. Like at 18, I was just like running low 4:20s, passing tons of people. The last mile's very kind of windy. You go like down this one hill, then up and down, and people are cramping at the side of the road and all this. I was just flying by people. I had picked up a couple of people early in the race to be like, I'll see you later, and I was like reeling those people in. Like this one girl had passed me around 11 miles, like really passed me going so fast. And I was like, wow, good for you, girl. And then I passed her back. So I was just passing all these people. And so then I split my watch at 20K with 1.1K to go. And I was running like 4:19 pace. So I was like really dropping it. And then you do this huge right-hand turn, like not a 90 degree. It's like way more than 90 degrees. So kind of you lose your momentum, but picked it back up and finished really strong. Like I was pretty happy with how fast I closed. So I was like, man, I bet you everybody struggled on this day. Like I ended up in 1:36:02. So like the time was certainly nothing to write home about. It was way off the paces. That average is 4:33 per K. So like 6 seconds per K slower than what I wanted. But I was like, that's the humidity. Like I just didn't have it in me. So I was like actually pretty happy with it. And then I saw Johnny at the finish line, and then he's like, oh yeah, I did a 1:60 and 50. And I'm like, oh fuck. So then oh, am I allowed to swear?
You dropped an F-bomb before I did.
I'm like,
Can't take her
okay.
anywhere.
Maybe something is wrong with me that I can't push. But
I think that both your times are. I think it was that humidity
so
is
too.
People don't understand that humidity. That makes it so hard. I can't believe you went that fast, John. That's crazy.
I know.
That's
I
amazing.
know.
I got more in the
Carolyn,
tank.
I think that's a great time under the conditions.
Yeah, and that's the thing with these longer distance, even shorter ones too, right? You control the controllables, and then you have to adapt, or you will pay the price. We do have to give a shout out to our good friend Brandy Adolph, who
she crushed it too.
She came down with us.
Yeah.
And so she ran a 1:32:36. She had mentioned that she was hoping to be in the 1:31 to 1:33 window, and so
Wow.
she did really well given the conditions as well. And you could tell she went to the well when she crossed the line.
And then my brother was there too. He was running the marathon. So they got delayed too. They were starting quite a bit after us anyway, but then also half an hour delayed. So it was pretty hot for them coming in. But he still managed a 2:40 low, I think.
Wow.
So he did pretty good.
Wow.
Good for him.
He's a good runner.
Yeah. So speaking about Brandy, I did one of my favorite episodes on your podcast was the one that she was on.
Yeah.
When you guys talk about that friendly competition and stuff, I like her attitude. She's very interesting.
Oh yeah, she's a great
good
runner.
For her.
Yeah, she rocked it that day. So yeah, I was like, it was a little bit of a funny race for me because I'm like in some ways really proud of it. Like I was actually proud of the execution. It was all like I don't think I could have given much more. So then I was like, it was the weather. And I know some people are like, oh, would people stop talking about the weather? But the thing is, it does impact you. So like, I don't want to make excuses, but I was like, oh, I think I did the best I could with the weather. And then like the
weather's real.
So awesome. So I'm
real,
like, oh, maybe I'm not tough enough or something. So I'm still, this race was only yesterday morning. I'm still honestly having a little bit of a tough time processing it.
Raw
If
on
I'm
this
being
podcast.
honest. Yeah.
Girl.
It's real.
Yeah.
It's real.
Oh, totally.
No, I don't know. I was in the sun all day yesterday in the morning because we were yesterday on Saturday. I was thinking of you guys running, and I was thinking, oh my god, because we had our little
Pépère Gerry race, right?
Gerry Run, and the
yeah.
people were struggling, and they were fun. People signed up for the half, and they were only doing the 10K, and people signed up for the 10K. Were like, I'm done at 5K, and like it's like a battlefield out there. And we started late. We started at 9 because we wanted to get the pancake breakfast. It's part of a community event. So I was thinking of you guys, and I was like, oh my god, like that's gonna be a tough day for them.
Yeah.
So
And
when I saw your times, it was pretty impressive.
I always like to look kind of on the elite end of things too, like just for clues, because if it's going to show up in anybody, it's going to show up in the elites too, right? And they're usually pretty dialed with what they can run. And the winner of the half also won it last year, and she was 90 seconds slower than she was last year. So then I'm like, okay, well, 2 minutes off for me, like maybe. Anyway, I'm trying to
also 144th out of 5,000 women.
Yeah, babe.
Yeah. I mean, there's always something to celebrate. So I ran the heck out of those tangents. So I got my Strava was like 21.13 kilometers, which normally when I run a half marathon, it's like 21.25 or 21.3.
Like hundreds of meters off as opposed to 30.
Yeah. But I was all over the road. It was such a windy road, and I'd be from all the way to the right and then drift all the way to the left.
What's your strategy when there's like people kind of in the way?
Elbows.
It's tricky. It's so tricky. That's so and that's a really good point, because especially early on in the race, there was just so many people around me. And so I'd be like, oh, I need to just slowly start drifting to the right. But then you got all these people on the right and they're not running the tangent. So then do you kind of slow down and then gear over? Like it's a bit of I just take it case by case. You have to
adjust your pace sometimes.
Yeah. Even like I said, it thinned out for me as the race went on. But in the first K, it was still pretty bunched up. And, you're more just trying to get around some folks as opposed to running the tangents, but you do the best you can. I was going to insert a hockey joke. I know you guys play hockey. You could
let's go. Let's hear
drop the shoulder or couple Canadians down in the States, elbows up. Yeah.
Like Mike Myers.
Yeah.
So that's like the time our cousin won the cross country race in high school.
Which cousin?
Grains, remember? He won one year.
Fill me in.
The top two guys got eliminated.
Yeah, they fought or something.
Basically had like a fight in front of them.
Scrap. Yeah,
while they were running.
Yeah. Well, nice. I don't know. They got disqualified.
In Sandylands, Manitoba, or wherever the heck it was.
Yeah. So my cousin was the division champion.
Wow. Because of the fight.
Because of the fight, yeah. Anyways. Where were we at? That was
okay, so great. We'll wrap that. Nice work on your race, guys. Charlie, I'm guessing you did 1,000 million hours of biking this weekend.
No, I felt terrible
the quads.
After. Yeah, something happened to me. I don't know if I'm sick or what, but I've been down and out for the last few days. So when I ran that half, kilometer 1, I don't know if this has happened to me a few times before, but at kilometer 1, my quads just like locked up kind of thing. Like they just it was almost like the feeling I get after a marathon, like 10 minutes after, but it was kilometer 1. And then I felt really sick. So I finished it. I told Jayla, who was doing the water station at station 1, I was like, I think I might DNF this. But anyways, it was so bad. So I kept going. I finished it. But
it was only a half.
I was so sore after. I was sore. It's the most sore I've ever been for a race, and I ran it really slow. So I don't know. There was something wrong.
I saw you kind of. I wasn't running. I was doing the race directing, and I knew something wasn't right with you, but I didn't want to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it was. I think maybe a combination of being sick and
million degrees,
not running for a week.
So yeah, too many biking miles. Just briefly on the Pépère Gerry race, I want to thank the people from the city who came in, like Bob Cox and Donnie Kaler and Sam Joe, and I don't know, just a bunch of Winnipeggers came that had never been to La Broquerie. We did a race in honor of my grandpa. We had 140 runners, 5K, 10K, half marathon. and raised like $7,000 for cancer research. My grandpa died of cancer. My dad's got cancer now. So it was pretty special to have a race in Labroquerie. Would you say our hometown, Charlie? I think I say
yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess not
hometown-ish.
Hometown area.
Hometown area. So like we grew up in Marchand, but there was nothing in Marchand. So we did our school and our hockey and our baseball and all the sports we played in Labroquerie. So it was awesome. I got to tell this quick story. So the parade today, so Saturdays, the fair is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The grad is on Friday. Then Saturday is the ball tournament and this year the race and bands and the social. And then Sunday is the parade in the morning and then bands all day on Sunday. So the parade was this morning. My kids were so amped. We had a float. I had an arch. I bought an arch on Amazon. I had an arch set up on my 24-foot trailer. I had a start line. I had a treadmill and I was going to run a half marathon today during the parade. And I bought 900 Gatorades and I was going to give Gatorades out. We put the labels on. My kids were up all night. We were putting the labels on the Gatorades. We had them in coolers. We were going to hand them out to people instead of handing out candy, hand out these. Well, guess what happened?
You didn't get your permit to have a treadmill on a moving vehicle.
No. They were
raining. It was raining.
It's fine. That's a detail. They canceled the parade.
Because of the weather or what?
Because of the weather, there was thunderstorm warning. But I mean, an hour after it was perfect. So now I'm
So we're giving out Gatorade at our race.
Well, this is a transition here. So I'm like, I have 900. Do you know how much 900 Gatorades weigh? It's a lot. And it's a lot to carry around. So I went to the arena and I was like driving around town trying to give out these Gatorades to people with our label on them. Anyway, so yes, we will have Gatorades to give out at our race, which is 3 weeks away?
Or less, maybe even.
4 weeks
away?
away? July 16th. Let's go. Let's
go.
Let's go. I was like, stop being annoying.
I got no workouts until then, but yeah. Can't wait.
Yeah,
I'm sure you have no worries.
Yeah, you know what, Charlie? Don't worry about it. You don't have to do anything.
Okay, so I know you've teased this.
You guys are crushing it. The 116
we have
and
no
the
chance.
136 and
we
tough
have no
conditions.
chance.
Oh God.
Okay, we got to back the bus up and really lay the groundwork for how this whole thing came together. Yeah. So, Rob, I know you guys talked about it last week on your podcast, but
I'm so excited.
I'm just saying, let's review kind of how this whole thing came to be, because it actually wasn't even very long ago that it came together, and it's happening fast, but there's like quite a funny story. So why don't you lay the groundwork of the story?
I hope I get the story right. I don't, sometimes these things happen in my mind and my brain says, that's not how it happened. And I'm like, what? And I feel like I'm old and I got Alzheimer's. My recollection is Charlie and I were talking about it, and we either on a podcast or one of these post-run chats or something, and we said, too bad we can't make it this year to the awesome twosome race where we beat them by 1 second last year and our only win ever history as brothers. Last year, there was the awesome twosome relay race, which was held at CMU University. It's a 5K loop. Charlie and I started at the same time. You guys started at the same time. We finished, and then we went and looked at the board and we saw the names and like, oh my God, we won by 1 second. We beat these two people. I don't know who they are.
Yeah, we didn't know each other.
And Charlie's like, oh, I know them. That Johnny Coffin and that Carolyn, she's got a podcast. These two are fast runners, and we beat them. That's unbelievable. And we high-fived, and then we walked away, and I was like, okay, cool. And then this year, I was in Quebec. Charlie had something, so we missed it, and you guys were gone too.
We couldn't do it either.
They were in Ottawa. You guys were in Ottawa, right?
Yeah, you guys were in Ottawa, so everyone was not there. So I said to Charlie, it's my recollection, it'd be so cool to organize this thing if we could somehow do another race. Yeah. And then Charlie's like, yeah, you should do that. So I was like, am I going to reach out to them and actually try to make this happen? And it's like, yeah. So I reached out to you guys, I think on Strava, and I was like, why don't we just do this? Why don't we just do a 5K relay race?
So, and I think we were like, yeah, let's just go back to CMU and just like stage it ourselves, like go run the exact same. So around CMU, it's like this block, basically, like you don't have to cross any roads. It's, just around a city block, essentially. So the whole thing is like, one partner would go one direction and the other partner would go the other direction. And then you'd have to kind of high five each other on the way by type of thing. So I was like, let's just go to CMU, run the route. Like we know the route and we know it's exactly 5K. And then you said, my recollection is you said, oh yeah, we should get some people to come out and watch. And I was like, oh, that's a great idea. And then I'm like, yeah, but if if they're running like this 5K loop, like you're not really going to see us till the very end. And I think the visual of this race, so in the actual race, we all ran it at the same time, right?
Yeah.
So we didn't necessarily know who was in the lead.
We had no way to know.
Yeah, we had no way to know. And so I'm like, it'd be really cool
I knew
if
Johnny
we did
was
it
way
like
ahead
a
of me.
relay instead. Like, so one partner goes and then the other partner goes, because the thing is that we want to see who wins as they're coming in. So let's do it as a relay. So that we ran with that for a little bit. And then we're like, oh, maybe it'd be better in Assiniboine Park. And we were throwing around all these ideas. And I'm like, it would be amazing at a track because you'd see it. The whoever wants to come spectate, they'll see it with their own eyes the whole way. You'll see the gaps opening and the gaps closing. And it'd just be spectacular at a track. And plus we love track. And so I floated that idea by you, and
I love
again, my recollection was you thought it was
I love that. I don't love the fact that you guys are like experienced track runners and you're very, very, very good at track running. And Charlie and I don't know what a track looks like. But aside from that, that's a minor detail.
But the only other time we've hung out was at a track because you guys were in Greg Penner's track thing over the winter. So
I went once.
I don't know track business.
Yeah, you guys know.
I've been getting familiar with tracks over the last 3 weeks.
I bet.
Yeah, just trying to get it. Yeah. So you were like, okay, track. And I was like, all right, let's do track. And we went.
And then it really escalated from there because you're like, and then you're like, oh, we could get food trucks and bouncy castles for the kids and everything. And I'm like, oh boy. And then so I helped to put on that first Tracktastic in 2023, and we held it on a weeknight. And I thought it was awesome because sometimes like weekends are tough. Like people have stuff going on, especially in the summer. Like a lot of people are at their lake or, they're out of the city. And so I thought, okay, maybe a Wednesday in July would be good. So I open up the calendar. What Wednesday could we do? And I'm like, oh, Wednesday the 16th is Johnny's birthday. So that I floated that by you. I'm like, we can have birthday cake and a bouncy castle, and a food truck and all this. So that I think it just a little bit snowballed from there. And it's like less than 1 week after your birthdays too?
Yeah, it's a week after mine and a week or a little bit more than the week after Charlie's. So
the bouncy castle is for the birthday boys only though, right?
Yeah, that's it. Nobody else gets the bouncy castle. I think there's like a weight limit too.
Yeah, we're fine. We're runners. But the funny thing is that we had a conference call just to talk through the details not that long ago. And it was like, okay, this. And then Rob's like, I got a guy. Okay, now we need to get this. And Rob's like, I got a guy for that. And this. Okay, I got a guy.
He's got guys for everything. Yes.
And within like 5 seconds, you had the whole thing organized. You'd like permits and you'd talk to everybody you needed to talk to. It was quite amazing, actually. So kudos to you. This would not be happening without you. That's for sure.
Well, I thrive on these things. I love these things, as you could probably tell. And I love like gathering people and the stuff I'm passionate about. I'm like, if I would have been a drug pusher, I would have been so good, right? But now I'm a running pusher. So I push people into running. And the best way to push stuff on people is to organize stuff and have them come and see how much fun it is. And then they get hooked. And then like yesterday, I pushed some running on a whole whack of people in the town in LaBroquerie. And like some of those people are gonna start running, right? So
yeah.
And that's a good segue into the piece of this event where people can come and run themselves, right?
Yeah.
So pay $5 and
that was your idea, or one of your two. That was not my idea.
Pay $5 and we'll organize some 1,500 meter races around the 400 meter track. I think is fantastic. I mean, we're probably gonna get a lot of runners that come out anyway, so you might as well come out, get your run in, get some food, and watch a great event.
I mean, I love that there's a 1,500 meter distance event. I kind of wish I would be running it because
me too.
That would be a PR for me because I've never done it.
Oh, really?
So I think that's an opportunity for people to go and do something very different and fun. So.
Well, the first 1,500 meters of your 5,000 meters will be a PR.
It's going to be, yeah.
No, that's awesome. And just for people listening, when you come, there's going to be multiple 1,500s. So we're going to try and group people of similar speed, and then we'll run that before the big event.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing that at 6:30.
Yes.
6:30. The 1,500 meter heats, I guess we'll call them, will start. We've already got, by the way, I just got the race roster set up like a few days ago, and there's already almost 20 people registered. So we're going to have people that are going to come to this. Apparently, the first person to register was already mentioned on this podcast once.
Randy.
Yes, she was the first one.
Nice.
To
She
sign
texted
up.
me. She's like, I signed up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
Jen
So she signed
Sacco
up.
was pretty early to sign up too, I think. I believe.
I don't think she's on here
'Cause-
yet, but I know she'll be there. But
Okay. Because I thought she told me that Jen Sacco had reached out to her and said, are you signing up for this event? And Brandy's like, already signed up. So
yeah, I fully expect
Oh,
to see
cool,
them
huh?
there.
yeah.
And so the format for the Awesome Twosome Run was also Run for Your Cause, right?
Yes.
So in that same vein, in order to replicate what we did just over a year ago, we wanted to introduce the same thing, right?
Yeah. So Run for Your Cause would be like you can pay to enter the event or you can donate to charity in lieu of a race entry, I think is how I recall it from last year. And so we start bantering about, like, well, the losing team will have to give money to the winning team's charity of choice. So obviously you guys are going to have
The CMV. Yeah, CMV Canada.
and we can talk about ours in a second, but we start like, okay, so what should we do? Like we need skin in the game. Like there needs to be something to rally around here. And so we throw out, I heard you guys say this on your podcast. Like,
I wasn't expecting that.
$5,000. And you were like, okay, I love it.
Let's go.
But I think the pause said it all where you're like, are they kidding? Are they serious?
Well, no, I wanted to pause to see if Johnny was kidding because Johnny's such a kidder. I was like, hey, is he serious? Is he going to say, I'm kidding? Like
$1 million.
$500? What do you guys want to do?
Yeah.
Like $5,000? Yeah, I'm in. Because I think just before I was like,
$5K for 5K, right?
5K for 5K. It's got a nice ring to it too. It's perfect.
It's got to be something on the line or else people don't care, right?
And there's that other piece too. So yes, we're the loser is going to give. So we are running for our cause.
Yeah.
I told my parents about it yesterday at the dinner. I was spending the night in Marchand, and my dad was like, this is fantastic. Like if this doesn't get you going, like this is better than a personal bet because if you don't win, your charity's out the money. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So they were so pumped. My parents were so pumped. So they're going to come, they're volunteering. But I was like, it's going to get me going. But there's also something else that's on the line too. And I'll let you, actually, why don't we talk about your charity first?
Yeah, for sure. So for the Coffin family, we've chosen Fort White Alive as our charity. It's I'm pretty sure a lot of the listeners, especially from the Winnipeg area, know of Fort White. It's like this giant preservation in almost the middle of the city. And they offer so many programs and resources and tours to help connect people with the environment and with nature, and they have a lot of programs that help out youths in need as well through gardening and woodwork. And then on the family front, like we sent our kids there for the summer camps. They became counselors. Our son did the leadership program there. And then racing, a little piece of history. When we first lived here back in 2003, 2004, Carolyn's first local race, the hypothermic half marathon, used to be run out of there back in the day. So that was kind of our first introduction. And I think the Manitoba Marathon, I know they do a lot of races there as well.
They do the hot chocolate hustle and then one around Halloween.
Yeah.
The Lightning Fiver, I think. So,
and then, selfishly, and for us, and I guess all the other runners too, it is connected to the series of trails that we use as part of our training. So we're in there a lot. And so we just want to give back to it. I think it's important for us to stay connected with nature, and, certainly Fort White Alive helps with that 100%.
I love it.
That's
I love
great.
it. When I heard that, I was like,
I've
awesome.
taken my kids there quite a few times.
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
we love going there. We're members.
Yeah.
We love going there. So we're like running for $5,000 is.
Oh God, Rob, you're putting so much. This is the most pressure I've ever felt in my life. I think.
I don't think I've ever done anything for $5,000. This is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's exciting.
Well, the real winners here will be the charity, right?
I know.
Fort White Alive will be the real.
Fort White Alive. Fort White Alive's gonna
Don't say
get
that. Don't say that. No.
And then I'm gonna
Okay,
feel
wait.
so bad. I'm gonna be like, I have to.
On that note, though, so yes, last year you guys beat us by a second. And so this year when we came up with the concept again, I'm like, well, I don't know what kind of shape we're all in. And so I start like doing some numbers, right? And I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah, I did some numbers too.
I did
Carolyn.
some numbers. And so no matter what way I sliced it, like somebody's super fit or they're just like not, they're just running it off the couch, basically. I'm like, I kept coming up with that we're going to be 10 seconds within 10 seconds of each other.
It's going to be close.
How were you like, were you just taking kind of the,
Can you walk us through those numbers?
Yeah,
Yes,
walk
I
us through the
can.
numbers.
Yes, I can. Shoot. And I should have written it all down, but when I've done it like a bunch of times, it's based on what your recent race results. So here, let me just
I know.
somebody-
And while
I hope
Go
you
ahead,
didn't
Johnny.
use my 10K time because
I did
I'm nowhere
as
near
the
that.
best case, as the
I'm
best case
nowhere
scenario.
near there.
And maybe while Carolyn's looking up the numbers, I think another thing that we could introduce to our event is a table where people can put birthday gifts on. I mean, it doesn't have to be
Well-
like a lot, but I do enjoy 20s and 50s stuff
Of
like
new
the
that.
Garmin
Dylan-
stuff?
Dylan-
Yeah, running stuff. It's all good. So, any sponsors out there, Morton? I'm and so just to be very serious, I am 100% kidding.
If someone shows up with a gift, Johnny,
If
you're gonna feel
they're
terrible.
gone. If they
Johnny,
show up
you're
with a
def-
gift,
you're
yeah.
definitely gonna get some gifts.
No gifts.
No gifts.
But I
You're-
said no gifts.
Yeah, your presence
Everyone-
is your presence.
Everyone says no gifts. You still bring a gift, Larry. Come on. Hear your enthusiasm?
Seinfeld?
Hear
Seinfeld?
your enthusiasm.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So I took Rob's, can we just talk about your London for just 2 seconds? So I was
Mhm.
tracking you in London Marathon.
This is where she's gonna pump my tires, Charlie, just to
Totally.
be nice.
No,
you
guys,
crushed
guys,
London. That was
I
tough conditions
am
too.
nothing excites me more. Sorry, Johnny, but nothing excites me more than a well executed race. And
Let's go.
All
I
right.
was looking at
Let's
John's
go.
half marathon splits here, and that
Yeah.
to me looks like
No,
okay,
very
John-
well
that was a
executed
that was a
race.
fun night
Okay,
in Duluth.
Well, we were
I'll
sharing a
pump
room
John-
with Brandy, so
Oh,
no, it
okay.
wasn't.
I'll pump Johnny's tires for a second. His Ottawa 10K was a 1 second negative split, so that was pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
that's
good
First
job.
time
Yeah.
ever.
He
Plus
got
the
rewarded
wind-breaking-
for that one.
The wind breaking help.
Okay, so your London, and I was tracking it that day, and the splits, and I'd heard you guys talk about it. Like, here's what
Too
I want
much.
to do. Like, I just want to run 650s till, or what was it? 650?
Yeah, 650
anyway,
plus the
I just
1%. Yeah.
650, 650, 650, 648, 652, 650, 650. I was just like, he's actually doing this is like amazing. Like these splits are just like a thing of beauty that must be framed and hung on the living room wall.
Thank
Okay.
you.
And so anyway, and whenever you see something like that, especially because it was a hot day too, I was like, he's got more in there too. So I conservatively just took a 258 flat marathon, even though we know you can go faster than that. And that equates, ladies and gentlemen, to an 1835 5K.
1835.
Okay, I
Now-
had the same number. I had the same
Okay.
number.
No way I can do that. But okay, 835. I'll write it down.
I don't know.
I had
And
the same
plus,
number
I know
too.
how pumped you are about this event and how
very
much you're
excited.
training
I'm
and
very
how much
excited.
is on the line. And money can be a big motivator, and charity.
No, I
can
just
be
want
a-
to beat you guys. I just want to. I'm intensely competitive. Winning is very, very important.
So I said at the slow end, Rob will be 1845, and at the fast end, he'll be 1825. So there's a 20-second spread. How do you?
So
You want to comment on my
Yeah, I'll
assessment there?
comment on that for a sec. Coach, I asked Coach today because yesterday or 2 days ago I had to do these 1K intervals as I'm imagining prepping for this thing, and I said, why can't I just do this every day till July 16th? That's what I asked my coach. Can I just do these every day till July 16th?
I
Yeah,
mean,
please.
yes, you
Yes,
should really
please.
do that.
And he was like, because they're so fun. It's the funnest thing, and you're pushing yourself. And I know I know the answer. I was half joking, but he said, "Great news, Rob. You're trending well towards sub 20. Looks like it's in the bag. Sub 20 is
Sub
in the
20.
bag."
No,
That's what Coach
You're
said.
faster.
And then he said, "And if you push hard and you work hard, we might get you under 19." Is what he said. But he always does this because he knows that I like thrive off that because he's doubting me, and I don't know if he does it secretly because he knows it'll motivate me to go harder. But if he's serious, he thinks I'm right around 19.
He listens to this
No.
podcast, right?
I don't know if he listens.
No, I
to
think
it.
you're definitely below 19.
You're way. That is.
You'll be
that's
definitely.
wrong.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Okay. So I don't want to sandbag here. I don't want to sandbag.
Okay. So then I took, because I saw this performance with my own eyes, Charlie, in multiple times.
Yeah, I was at a peak there on that day.
April, whatever. What was that?
It's
April
been downhill
13th.
since that day.
You did a 2-hour
But
half
you're
marathon.
a sandbagger. I know this from listening to the podcast.
He's
So-
a classic
Classic
serial sandbagger.
sandbagger.
Serial sandbagger.
always on
And a
the
realist.
yeah, he's a realist, but sometimes too real. So I was like, okay, 39.19 was it for the 10K that you
15,
did like
39,
okay 15
And I
which
crashed
you
it
did
to
like
someone, you
a
saw that.
week before Boston for starters, right? You did it like right before your Boston Marathon.
Yeah, I was like, that was my peak shape. That was the day I was in my best shape of the entire year. I
Okay.
think.
So and we know, and guys tend to perform a little bit better at the shorter distances.
Can't
so
wait to flip
faster
this on
they
them,
go.
Charlie, and
And-
tell
and
them how
so-
they're gonna do.
I put them in. I put this all into my little magic calculator, and it spits out an 1856. So, given that 2 months
Okay.
have gone by, that was April, May, June. So 2 months of 6 weeks, 2 months or whatever, and you claim to not be in shape, but you've been biking like 36 hours a
A lot of
day.
Vikings. A lot of Vikings.
So you can't be that unfit. I put in 1910.
Okay.
1835 plus 1910 adds to 3745. Okay.
Okay.
That is the
I-
absolute ceiling. That's the
Yeah.
best case, miracle
Yes.
case.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I
don't-
ran one track 5K, 5,000 meters in the winter, indoors,
200-meter track.
200-meter track in 2041.
Okay,
So-
but your recent results are trending a little bit better. Your
I've probably
10K
gained a bit of fitness, although
You're
my
fit.
confidence is down because I just laid an egg at my half marathon here.
No, we just went through this.
No,
You didn't
yeah.
lay an egg.
So-
we
so
Carolyn,
just went through this.
So I kind of use that formula. I used your 10K, which was what, 42?
49.
This is where we flip it on you, by the way,
Okay.
Carolyn.
Okay,
We're
yeah,
gonna
you
tell
guys
you,
fl-
you're
you
you're
guys
gonna
do
do
it.
way
Yeah.
better than Charlie. Go ahead. I didn't
Okay,
do this
so-
math. I just know you guys are going to be ahead of us.
So I have you at like a 2025.
That's my best case scenario for
Yeah.
myself. It's 2025 to 2040 is what I think.
Well, we have
Okay.
no
Well,
chance because Johnny's sub 17, isn't he?
Mm,
I got Johnny at like, we'll see. Okay, what do you have Johnny at for Carolyn?
I have him I gave everyone kind of a 15 to 20 second spread. So I gave Johnny 1640 to 17 minutes.
We have no chance,
Okay,
Charlie.
I think
penciled him in at
1640
1640.
is a bridge too far. Like that's 10 seconds faster than my PB that I was peaked for. And I'm
That
on
was
the
a
downswing.
road race, and this is a track.
I know.
It's different.
Jeez.
Yeah, but
He's
Johnny,
not-
you're like, you just ran an incredible
lost
half
5
marathon.
grand.
You guys are giving me too much here. So I'm not saying I'm going to run a 1650, but to keep the numbers in line.
So that's 37:15, something like that. 37:20.
No. If Johnny runs 1650 and I run 2040, that's 3740. Isn't it?
37:30. We're 15 seconds apart.
3730.
15 seconds there.
Charlie, you really need to get fast
Yeah,
real quick.
When I did this spreadsheet, Carolyn,
Mhm.
I put myself at 1955. I know you got me.
No.
No.
So
Sandbagger. I'm
No,
proving it right here with this
I've got
conversation.
zero confidence right now. We'll see. Maybe I can. I don't know.
What's the over under on bets.com? I was trying to come up with a
Well,
funnier,
my dad is probably gonna run a bookie ring here.
Ah,
for
there we
this-
go.
for this
Perfect.
event, I would imagine. Right now, you guys are paying minus 170.
Yeah.
We are plus
So-
185.
So have you guys ever seen the movie Silver Linings Playbook?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so anyways, the dad in there, that's our dad. The dad's like a retired person bookie.
Nice. Yeah, put him to work, and then we'll give the money to charity.
So we lost $5,000, Charlie. Okay. Well, you know what? What's great is I really like the cause. Fort White Alive is a great cause, and we're going to be happy to cut that check.
But
It's
you never
good.
know. Like sometimes, things can happen on race day.
100%.
That's why we run
are
the
not
race.
run on paper. I'm sorry, they just aren't. And I would be
How did we
over
beat
the
you guys?
moon to give $5,000 to your charity.
How
100%.
did we
I'll just
beat
say
you
that
guys? What a
up.
miracle that was, Charlie, when we beat them. That was just wow.
So Rob, for us to have a chance,
Okay, yeah, I'm listening. I will
I
do
have to
whatever it
train
takes.
as if I need to do 19, basically, is what you're telling me,
Okay,
Carolyn.
you get the
Thanks, Carolyn.
19, Charlie.
Carolyn,
I
you got a
gotta
chance
get
if I
to
do 19?
18,
Yeah.
20. I can't get to 18:25. That's impossible.
If you do 19 minutes, then you're 37:35. That's if so I see a world where Rob is more on the 18:20 end of things.
Zero chance.
Why do you say
I
that?
don't know.
Fast
We'll
is
see,
that?
we'll see.
What is that per kilometer?
And so I guess for the listeners too, just know that it is times on the track for a 5,000 meter are generally faster than road times.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
just
it's
kinda
exactly 5K. Like on a
add that
road
in.
race, you're going to have that variance, right?
But I
Sometimes
mean,
it's
are you
longer.
guys factoring that in your time already, or have you
Yeah,
already
yeah,
kind of?
for sure.
And it's always left that we're turning? I have to
Correct.
practice turning left? Okay.
Yeah. 5:54 per mile.
Yeah.
18:20.
5:54.
And so
Yeah.
in order to draw the crowd in here too, folks, to come out and watch this exciting event, based on these times, Charlie will likely lap Carolyn
Mhm.
once. And so then it'll just make it a little more exciting because I'm going to obviously try to hunt Rob down.
It's gonna be the worst feeling on earth.
I don't think
looking
there's
over
any
my
chance
shoulder
that
and
I'm
feeling your.
laughing.
But you'll have everybody yelling at you, being like, he's there or he's not. You never
I know he's
right?
there. I see him. He's coming. I know he's gonna catch me. He's fast. Yeah, it's happening.
But so I not only do I have to catch you, but then I got to do another lap too, right?
Oh, it's
So-
gonna be the worst feeling. Oh,
No. You would catch him at the finish line.
he's gonna pass me once, and he's gonna catch me.
I got to
at the
pass him
finish line.
twice if
Oh,
Charlie
that's
laps
right,
you.
that's
Well, I mean,
That's
so no.
Charlie
So
left.
if
Yeah.
Carolyn runs at 20:30 and I run at 19:10, I don't think I'll have her
It might be
lap.
close.
That's 90-second laps. So,
I mean, but that'd be like my best case scenario. So I don't think I'll.
but it'll be close.
It'll be
It'll
close.
be
yeah,
close.
yeah.
Yeah. 19. I'm just doing plus if you do a 19:10, that is 92-second laps. So there is a very
Which
high
means no- which
likelihood
means I
that you're
wouldn't
going to lap
you,
me.
Which means I
It
wouldn't.
would be
Yeah.
close-ish, right?
Yeah.
So for those listening who are not mathematically inclined, it is going to be super exciting.
It's going to be
Yeah.
very close.
It's going to
Very
be close, and I think it's definitely worthwhile coming out. We're going to have food. We're going to have obviously non-alcoholic drinks, but we'll have drinks, and there's going to be cake.
Birthday cake.
Birthday cake.
Birthday cake.
Yes.
Birthday
It's
cake
gonna-
food.
I don't think we've said this yet, maybe, but I'll put it in my intro. But it's going to be at Victor Major
Oh, yeah,
Track
Victor
in
Major
Winnipeg.
Track.
So we said the time, but we didn't. say
Minor
the
detail.
location. So-
Okay, one more detail I have as a question here is like, are we carrying a baton here, or how
oh,
does
we wondered about that. We
Oh,
how
have
does the
yeah.
baton.
handoff go?
I think we
Let's
just
not
need
carry a
to
baton.
touch,
Touch.
slap hands or something.
Sometimes when
We
touch.
do need to come up with a very specific rule here. So, like, do you guys need to cross the line?
Is
And
there
before
an
we
area
go-
or- yeah.
Yeah, or
It's
we'll
gonna be
come
a
up with an
standing
area.
start, right? It's gonna be a standing start. So like touch, like
Hmm.
standing start,
Good
touch,
to
and
think
at the
about
start
these
line,
things.
maybe.
Yeah.
We're making sausage here in front of the folks, guys.
This
hey,
is great.
crowd, we will come up with
It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good.
that works for everybody. That's super fair and very clear. And we're going to need a special time. Well, we don't really need to know the time because first team across the line.
But we'll have the
Win.
clock. We'll have the
Right, yeah,
MRA clock because it is a sanctioned MRA event and it's insured, meaning you don't have to worry about getting injured. Well, you can, whatever.
If you get a PR, it counts.
So
Yes.
you mean the MRA will pay for my physio bill if I
Yeah.
pull a
Well, I don't know
hammy
how it
or
works.
something?
I don't know how it works. Those are kind of like details, but it's details.
Thanks, Kathy.
Yeah.
They're awesome. Kathy and all, they were so pumped. I think they sent an email
They did. I know
Yeah.
because I got it and I was like,
Yeah, I got it
It's
too.
about
I was like, oh
Arvin.
god.
And
I
it's
know these
normally MRA track night as well, so they'll be there.
So I think some people from the track will be coming too for that. So 6:30 start for the 1500 meter relay. Our main event will be 7:15. Kind of, I don't know, after that.
And just for anyone listening, if you want to come and just partake in the food and the birthday cake and the drinks and not run, by all means, $5. If
There's
you
a
want to
ticket.
come do all the drinks and eats and the run, $5. So we're going with a 5 theme here. So we got the 5K for $5,000 and the $5. So
yeah. And the $5 really was just to know how many people are coming. We wanted to make it free. We wanted to make a community event and you guys all come and hang out. There's people that are signed up already as a spectator. So you could buy a participant ticket, $5, you run 1500 meters, or you buy a spectator ticket, $5, you don't run.
Yeah.
And you either way, you eat the pizza and you eat the cake.
Yes.
So would running a 1500 meter race before be a good warm up, or
yes, you should do it. Yeah, you should.
I think the answer is no. I think the answer is no. I think they're messing with us, Charlie. I think they are.
Are you asking me as a coach or as your competitor?
Yeah, exactly.
How many times should I be doing max
sounds
speed
like fun.
workouts?
Sounds like fun.
Every
Every
day.
Every
Twice
day.
per week?
Every
Three?
day.
Oh, they're messing with me. They don't know. I was gonna say, sorry. I know you got to run, Charlie. Are you?
I'm
you
good
okay
for a
time?
couple minutes. Let's
Okay.
finish up. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know what else is on the agenda. Like, this is the most excited I've been about anything in a long time.
Well,
Okay,
even
I have a question.
We
for
usually
you.
do. Yeah, go ahead, Carolyn.
Oh, I was just going to say, I heard you talk about it on your podcast. Like, this is your A race.
This is my A race. I do have a little bit of stuff around there. I'm doing 100K next week. And I got so that's probably not great, right?
I think it's great.
I think you should do 200.
Probably not
You want a few
ideal.
days before, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's 3 days before I leave for my run around PEI. So that'll be 14 marathons, 14 days. So this will be it's a race because like the PEI is, I mean, I can't train. I can train for that. I'm already training for that. So this is my A. I've been training A race this for, I don't know, 3 weeks, maybe since we announced it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what makes you get so excited about this event?
I don't know why I'm so jacked. Maybe it's the competitive, and I've never run track and I'm excited about it. I've never run like short distances. And every time I go out and I run, it is so fun to run fast.
It is so fun to run.
Yeah,
fast.
I think it's the 5K part of it that you've never really
I've never done this
on a 5K. I think.
Yeah.
Get a chance to
in a way, I kind of regret not setting this out for like October and getting nice weather and then like getting a cycle built just for this, or like maybe January. But regardless, Kate, we're gonna lose, and that's fine. We're okay with that. Charlie and I are okay with that. But I'm gonna do. I'm not okay with it. No, it's gonna suck. But whatever. But I'm gonna work hard this winter, and I think I want to really try to do a fast. I think I texted you after your episode with the guy who was talking about how important it is to do like 5K and 10K training.
Mm-hmm.
And I texted you. I said I'm gonna do this winter, and you were like, "Oh, if you end up doing this, that's a win for me." I'm gonna do a 5K training because I'm loving this. It's only been 3-4 weeks, but it's so fun.
Yeah. You want to get faster at the marathon? Get faster at the half. You want to get faster at the half? Get faster at the 10. If you want to get faster at the 10, get faster at the 5, and so on and so on. So
like
you got to put the blocks
Yeah.
in the wall and build a big wall. Yeah, that's what it's all about. 100%.
Yeah, so I don't have any wall of any kind. So I'm gonna start putting some.
You have an endurance wall.
I definitely have an endurance wall, and I have a bit of a mental wall too. So that one's strong.
What about you, Charlie? Are you excited? I'm sensing that you're not as excited as Rob for this. Is that true?
I think it's true. I think it's because, well, a couple of reasons is I don't feel that great right now. And I like the spotlight. He enjoys the spotlight. I think maybe not as much as I do. So I feel like there's going to be, now it's become this thing where it's going to be fun that there's a lot of people there, but at the same time, I kind of like just blending in. So we'll see. Anyways, no, I'll do my best. I think this podcast here has gotten me a little bit excited. I need to train for it. there's a big gap from that 1910. I can tell you that right now from where I'm at. So
Pretty quick to shave a minute on a 5K, right, Johnny?
Yeah.
That happens real quick, right?
Yeah, no problem.
yeah, it can happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you guys excited for this?
Yes.
So excited.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
telling Johnny that I've always kind of like running, it can feel very kind of selfish a lot of the time, right? Like you're out there, you're taking time away from your family, you're solo, and
Yeah.
and it's like I've always envisioned a way to like I give back through the podcast and coaching people and stuff like that, but like bigger, like give back in a bigger way. And just the tying in the kind of like charity and philanthropy side of it with the thing that we love to do anyway, and making it, we love competing, and I love friendly competition. I believe in friendly competition. Like there'll be no sore loser sulking at the side of the track from either of us if you guys win. Like I genuinely think we need these things to sort of get up for, and I just think it's kind of marries all the things that I love most in life, which sounds really cheesy, but it's sort of like taking the running thing that feels selfish and making it bigger than ourselves.
That's awesome.
Wow.
So awesome. I'll just be crying in my garage by myself if we lose. But aside from that, it won't be. Aside from that, it'll be just me and my tears and my empty Gatorade balls.
Yeah, I was gonna say Gatorade. You'll have lots of Gatorade.
Yeah. Gatorade.
Sorry, Johnny, were you gonna
Get
say
rehydrated real quick.
Oh, so hydrated. So many
I was just gonna say I can't say anything after that. That was beautiful.
Okay,
think we're
we'll
beautiful.
wrap it up. Yeah.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Usually at the end of our episodes, I say more miles, less pace. See you in the next episode.
All right. More miles, less pace. See you in the next episode.
I usually just drop a fucking F-bomb.
You do like your F-bombs. You do like your F-bombs, Johnny.
That was it. I had to get one in.
Nailed it. Yeah, because Carolyn got one in earlier. Now you got yours. We're
I
laughing
can't
now.
believe I went first. Okay. Anyway, this
Right
was
on,
really
guys.
fun.
This is
Thanks for
awesome.
having us.
Yeah,
Cheers.
thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, this is a pleasure.